Ooh, welcome to Ole Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls. I'm back with you, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 173 coming your way. Got a fun show here coming up. Before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who joined in and listened and watched along to our live draft show on Thursday last week. I think last I looked, about 60 different people stopped in throughout it. So thank you. That was a lot of fun. Big shout out to MJ. MJ brought it. MJ was prepared. He was ready. He did a great job. He killed it for us. So check out MJ. He's on the Full Range podcast. You can find that on Spotify. You can also find it on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel. He did great. Thank you to the other people who stopped in. Ethan, Joel, Waiter, Slano, Troy, and again, thank you to everybody that watched. And while we're doing the thank yous, thank you for all the support just in general. And then if you guys could, please rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share. Go subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify and Apple and Amazon and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Subscribe and like, do all that good stuff. Like I said, fun show coming. We're going to talk a little draft. We got a little Raw and SmackDown after Mania. We got the Cleveland Guardians, the NBA playoffs, and NHL playoffs are underway. So we'll touch on a little bit of everything. There is some golf this weekend. So without any further ado, let's dive in. NFL draft. Just a little recap. Going to focus mostly on the Packers here. There'll be some other things to talk about here, obviously. Excuse me. But the Packers going to be my main focus here. I have to say, I think I'm pretty down with what the Packers went out and did in this draft. Obviously, the first round pick. I think even on our live draft show on Thursday, I was so shocked that they picked a wide receiver in the first round. First time since 2002. I almost said 2022. That's not the case. 2002, I believe that would have been Javon Walker. The Packers go out and select a wide receiver in the first round. Matthew Golden out of Texas. Now, Matthew Golden, 5'11", 191. So a smaller guy, but I think I saw 4'2", maybe. Played in 11 games with Houston his first year. It was at Texas here this last year. Just shy of 1,000 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns. Started all 16 games for Texas. There was a middle year in there with Houston. First 2 years with Houston, then to Texas. Brought the energy after he got picked, got out there. Was really endearing himself to the Green Bay fans in attendance. So I think as we'll go through this here, there's a couple things to note. First off, they drafted 2 wide receivers in the first 3 rounds. Savion Williams, wide receiver out of Tennessee, a guy that got used as a gadget guy for them a lot. He had 6 rushing touchdowns, actually threw for a passing touchdown. 60 catches, 611 yards. So, I mean, I think that's a lot of stuff, not necessarily out of the backfield, but quicker hitters. Big guy, not crazy fast, but good speed. And again, size and the ability to go up and get a ball is what you read and see about. So there seems to be a notion. The feeling I get is that the Packers are like, we're not super happy with the wide receiver room. And I get it. There's not really a standout wide receiver. So I think at this point, they're like, we're just going to throw everything at the wall with these receivers and be young and have a bunch of them to just go out there. And if we can line 4 guys up out there or 3 guys, whatever we're doing, there's going to be a lot of options. 3 guys, a receiver, back. That's probably, the pretty standard look in the NFL today. That there's going to be options all across the field. So you got Tucker Kraft still at tight end. Can we get something out of the guys that are there? Watson and Dobbs and Dontavian Wicks. They're going to add some stuff. Then the next bunch of picks, there was 1 cornerback taken, and then the rest were linemen, offensive and defensive. And, one edge guy in Colin Oliver, another edge guy in Baron Sorrell, and then a couple of O-tackles. And the stuff I'm going to focus most of this on the offensive lineman, and then the D tackles they chose. In talking to the big cat, Bill Gardner, he said he read something that there was a kind of a change in philosophy in how the Packers viewed the line. Typically throughout the past, 5-6 years, maybe more, the Packers have viewed the line as getting athletic people who can play all across the line and kind of be interchangeable. And what Bill told me was that he read this article that the Packers felt that when they got up against the better teams, the Eagles, particularly here in the NFC, that they were getting bullied around by bigger guys on the defensive line. So I think that speaks to a lot. Jonathan Banks, the guy they went out and got in free agency, bigger guy. Anthony Belton, the second-round pick out of North Carolina State, 6'6", 335, bigger guy. The edges, the two edge guys, the one guy, Baron Sorrell, is 6'3", 256. So again, that's the other side of the ball. But if they feel like they were getting bullied by teams with bigger guys, that fits maybe the new philosophy. Colin Oliver, a little shorter, 6'1", but 240, still a pretty solid-sized edge. Then you go to the 6th-round pick, the defensive tackle, Warren Brinson out of Georgia, 6'5", 315. A guy who has started 25 games the last 2 years for Georgia. The cornerback, Micah Robinson, out of Tulane. Obviously, we're not too worried about size there in that philosophy. But then the next lineman they took in their last pick, John Williams, Cincinnati, 6'4", 322. So it seems like they're making a concerted effort to get bigger on the lines. Bigger, stronger, more powerful guys, as opposed to and not necessarily that they were all smaller, because, a quicker, more interchangeable piece. They're looking for some size, some girth, if you will. So that's kind of my takeaway based on, my conversations with Bill, what he read, similar things I've seen, and just, the overall feeling that I get out of it. And I don't know what we're going to get out of Matthew Golden. Nobody knows. That's the other thing. There's draft grades out, and I've fallen into looking at the draft grades like, oh, this team drafted like shit. You don't know. You might know. And Scott Van Pelt said this on his podcast with Stanford Steve. It's like, you don't know. Nobody knows what we're grading right now. You could probably give a preliminary grade after this year, after 1 year, but you probably really need 3 years of data to come up with a full, retrospective look, how things played out, how, guys in the organization felt about rookies from the past year, how they felt like they were developing throughout the year and into the offseason, that maybe they had a fill for a spot that you thought they should be drafting for, but they felt pretty comfortable with. And again, not everybody's going to pan out. There's going to be first rounders that don't pan out, but it felt like they went after needs this year, just straight up filling needs. This wasn't about best player available. This was just straight needs. And I think that's kind of how the whole draft felt, because there just didn't feel like, and we talked again about this Thursday, so I'm not going to go into too much, but we talked about how there weren't a lot of top end talent in this draft. So a lot of these guys were just like, hey, it's not so much best player available. We'll move down our board a couple slots if we think that guy fits us better. Draft thoughts as a whole. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, everyone imagined them going the first three off. Ashton Genty went, a little bit higher than I thought he was going to rather. Beside that, we talked plenty about the first round. I'm not going to dive too deep into the second, third, fourth, and fifth, because I don't really know, and it doesn't interest me that much. Obviously, the big story coming out of this is Shedeur Sanders falls to the 5th round to the Cleveland Browns. Pick 144, 6th pick in the 5th round. And it was wild to watch. Incredible, you might even say. I mean, just really crazy stuff. And I didn't. You started to get the feeling that he wasn't going to go early, earlier last week, the week before. But at no point in my life did I think these guys, he's going to fall to the 5th. I was like, he'll fall to the end of the 1st. The Browns had a couple of chances to draft him there in the 1st. I mean, when he didn't go to them at 5, you're like, okay, they came back. And I think they originally had a spot later in the 1st, but then traded out of it. I could be wrong there. Don't hold me to that. I think that's what that was, right? It doesn't tell me on this, but yeah, they trade out. So then, and then the Browns go out and draft Dylan Gabriel, and you're like, oh, they're out on him. They end up coming around and drafting him anyway in the 5th, but the reactions were interesting to me. Obviously, you've got the race baiters out there. I mean, I'm pulling up one guy here, RJ Young. They say Shedeur Sanders needs to be humble. No one tells Joe Burrow to be humble. No one tells Aaron Rodgers to be humble. No one told Tom Brady to be humble. Let's just check this off. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback to ever live, maybe the greatest team sport athlete of all time. Aaron Rodgers is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, and he didn't start acting unhumble until he got to be that way. NFL history, by the way. He didn't start acting unhumble until he was like one of the best quarterbacks in the league at the time. Joe Burrow is one of, if he's outside the top 5 quarterbacks, it's not by far in the NFL. And he also came in as a Heisman winner and had just won a national championship with an LSU team that had just blown people off the field. So let's stop. And also, we know what he's getting at. He named 3 white quarterbacks after did Deshaun. Like, I know what we're all going for here, but like Cam Ward, he's a black guy. He was the first pick in the NFL draft. Pat Mahomes is maybe the most popular player in the league. He's a cocky fuck. He's a black guy. Lamar Jackson is an NFL quarterback. If he's not in the top 5, he's right there. Like, can we stop with this? Like, there were obviously issues with how they felt about him. Many people will tell you he was a second round graded talent. If you're going to be a second round graded talent, you can't have top 5 pick baggage to you. Your talent has to outweigh your baggage. And there are questions about his talent. His arm strength is under question. There's a video of him and Cam Ward that got spliced together, one on top of the other, going back to back, doing the same drill. There's a pad down in the middle of them. They're shuffling across. The way the ball comes out of Cam Ward's hand versus the way the ball comes out of Shedeur Sanders' hand is vastly different. You've also got a very high-profile guy with a very high-profile father. There's a lot of baggage there. I'm not saying the kid's not going to be good. I'm not saying he's going to be a problem, but I guess he didn't interview well. Body language was bad. Somebody asked Brian Daboll about it. You could tell he kind of brushed off the answer, but you could tell from his body language. He's like, yeah, I'm very okay. Not, vehemently, against it. There's also like that. Now we're getting, and I see right here on the thing, I didn't see this, but this is there's a clip of a Stephen A thing and it's not playing, but the quote just says, Stephen A, Deion Sanders are not clear. Oh, that's not really where I thought that was going. Oh, Damien Woody, NFL sent Shedeur a message with draft slide. Like, I don't believe that all the league colluded against the guy. Like, can we stop? Like, if somebody wanted to take a chance on him by the 3rd round, they were gonna. Like, they didn't grade him that high. A lot of the 6 quarterbacks went last year. A lot of teams have kind of a quarterback plan for, like, it feels like the next 2 years. I don't think we need to get all worked up over it. There were some other good ones. This Mel Kiper one's a good one. He at one point went out, and I was actually watching this, or maybe I saw the clip, and he said, the NFL has been clueless about evaluating quarterbacks for years. And it was an impassioned speech. And someone put this in here, and I was like, this is going to be good because like if you're out there forever, you're going to miss. So it's like, yes, maybe they miss on him, but like it's a possibility and like it could happen, but like it's also a possibility that they're all right. But Mel Kiper is the guy who said Johnny Manziel should go over number 1 overall. Lamar Jackson should switch to wide receiver. Blaine Gabbert would be better than Cammy Newton, and Jimmy Clausen would be a star. Those are some rough misses, too, for Mr. Everybody else is wrong in their evaluation. So, yeah. Oh, while we're on Shedeur, gosh, what's his name? The DC for the Falcons. He was the interim coach for the Jets. It's just completely left me. Do I have it here? I don't. I've lost it. Shoot, whatever. The old DC for the Jets, new DC for the Falcons. That's the important thing. His son prank called Shedeur. And hey, is that a dick move? Absolutely. Like, should you do it? No. Like, don't be a prick. The reactions to that I saw were like, this was the end of the world. And then it comes out later, like Tyler Warren got one of them too. I'm very interested why everybody, and I mean, it was the ESPN guys, it was the guys on NFL Network, why we're all like so invested in the Shador, like defending him, like personally as a thing. Like, just report on the fall, ask some questions about it. Yeah. And here's the beautiful thing for Shador Sanders. He's going to have 17 opportunities in games to prove people wrong. He's going to have all training camp, all, whatever OTAs they can get himself into to prove everybody wrong. That said, the Browns quarterback room is just fucking hilarious. We got Deshaun Watson. Who knows what's going on with him, whether he's touching somebody or his Achilles is even, capable of working. We got Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett's kind of some veterans in there. Kenny Pickett, I think, kind of stinks. Joe Flacco is on the telltale end of his career, but has shown some moments still. And then you got two rookies in Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders. Like, wild quarterback room there. I think that's about it. I mean, just, Cam Ward, and by the way, Cam Ward is not a super highly rated quarterback prospect either. Like, we should get out ahead of that, like, it's very possible that he's not great, and had there been other quarterbacks available, would he have even been taken in the first round himself? But the Titans are in a spot where they really need a quarterback. He had apparently clearly been graded the best quarterback in the draft, as evidenced by where all the other ones went. But if it was last year's draft and you just plug him in, I think MJ and I talked about this. He's what, fifth quarterback picked? But again, everyone knocked the Bo Nix pick. That worked out. So the beauty of it is you get to go prove it on the field. So, all right, let's keep rolling. Let's do some guards and golf. Sorry, allergies getting me. My eyes. I just looked at myself in the screen here. My eyes are red as hell. Allergies are getting the best of me this year. Let's start with the guards portion of that. I said last week we got to find a way to go 3-3, and we did. All things considered, not a terrible week. It's not the way you would have thought it would have went with, getting the two probably off the Yankees, who seem to be the better team than the Red Sox. But the Red Sox aren't bad. Like, they're a pretty darn solid team. I mean, they're just a couple games back of the Yankees themselves. They're 16-14 overall, and the Yankees are 17-11. That should be more than two, shouldn't it? 16-4, 30, 20. They've played two more games, so that probably makes up for it. But yeah, the guards go out. They get two. They get the first two from the Yankees. We're looking for the sweep in Game 3. Unfortunately, can't do it. But that was turned into a 5-game win streak. Drop one to the Yankees. There's a rain delay Friday after an off day, but the guards come back and get the first game in a doubleheader on Saturday. Get beat up a little bit Saturday evening and get the shit kicked out of them on Sunday. Just 13-3. Just big inning after big inning. It felt like 2 runs in the second for the Sox, 5 in the 5th, 3 more in the 7th, and they tacked on 1 run in 3 other innings. Just a Nolan Jones home run for the Guardians is all that brought runs across the plate. But good to see him have a little success. I think he's a guy who's got to step up a little bit. I mentioned him as well as Kyle Manzardo and Gabriel Arias. Needed to be guys who could contribute to this team this year going forward. And Nolan Jones has not been a guy who has, done that thus far. So good to see maybe him get a little good mojo. Because, Nolan Jones here, I can't see batting 190. Again, that was his first home run. Has only driven in 5 runs, and 3 of them came on that swing on Sunday. We got to see some more out of him. Obviously, the guy, and I talked about him last week, Kyle Manzardo. He's producing 7 home runs, 18 RBIs, leads the team in both. Stephen Kwan giving us a lot of RBI production, 15 RBIs, 4 home runs himself, 5 doubles, leads the team in doubles, second in RBIs, and third in home runs. Like, hey, if you can get a lot more production out of Stephen Kwan, that's awesome. Gabriel Arias, again, another guy I kind of pointed out, hey, you need to do something. 272, 11 RBIs, like fourth on the team in RBIs. That's exactly what you need out of him. Second on the team in batting average. Sorry, my light is in the way here. So good stuff there. Obviously, Jose is Jose. His average is down a little bit, 263, but he's producing runs, RBIs, and home runs. So we're happy there. The pitching has been, hit or miss. Gavin Williams has had a couple of good outings. He's gotten beat up once, I believe. Tanner Bybee is, got running a 5.19 ERA right now. Best ERA on the team from any guy who's pitched any sort of amount of innings is Logan Allen at a 4.21. Joey Cantillo's pitched 15 innings in all relief, 2.35, which is awesome. Kate Smith, 1.29, and Emmanuel Clase coming back off a little injury. Stephen Vogt indicated that he was going to go right back into the closing role. Kate Smith has kind of filled that in while he'd been gone and picked up a couple of saves in there, I believe. Yeah, 3 saves, which almost equals the 4 that Clase has in his 6 save opportunities. Kate Smith 3 for 3 right now. So at least if we can't find something with Clase going forward, there seems to be an option that Kate Smith could slide into that. But Clase, just 11 innings pitched so far this year, but a 7.15 ERA. Not at all what we're looking for. Jacob Junis has been a nice addition. He's given some good relief. 12 innings, 2.25 ERA. So Tristan McKenzie got optioned down. That's just not worked out. Not worked out at all. When did Austin Hedges pitch to me? He pitched an inning, gave up, he's got an ERA of 9. I don't even remember that game. The other guy I'm a little concerned about is Bo Naylor. Obviously, he split some time behind the plate. He's played in 18 games. Only has 6 RBIs. Batting under 200. Got to get a little bit more. Got to get a little bit more out of that. Just need some more. Need some more. What do we got coming up this week for the Guards? We got a home series with the Twins. 4 games set there, then head to the Blue Jays for 3. So full week this week. And 2.5 games back of the Tigers right now. Who do the Tigers play this week? So let's keep an eye on it. Tigers go play the Astros and the Angels. Astros and the Angels for the Tigers. The Astros they're fine. They're middling. The Angels bottom of that American League West, but only 3 games under 500. Only 3.5 back of the West. So still very much in it. Still so early in the season. We're only a month in. I know we're keeping an eye on the standings, but no need to panic just yet. Unless maybe you're the Colorado Rockies. You're 4-23. They are 3-9 in their, or sorry, that was their home record. They're 1-9 in their last 10. Just ouchies. Getting really outpaced by the 7-21 Chicago White Sox. I mean, there's a chance we could have the 2 worst teams in Major League Baseball history this year. Both of them in 1 year. Impressive. Cleveland does have the lead in the wild card right now. Again, 2.5 back. Super early. Probably nothing to go crazy about right now. Over in the golf side, Andrew Novak, Ben Griffin win the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. A who's who of nobodies out there in this event. Andrew Novak has been kind of splashing lately. I would guess he's got to be flying up the Ryder Cup rankings with how he's been playing of late. Top 6 for America: Scotty, Xander, Morikawa, Bryson, Russell Henley, Justin Thomas. Andrew Novak up to 9th. We've mentioned this before, but the bottom half of that 12, the next 6, the top 6 you're pretty good with. After that, it gets a little weird for the Americans. Mav McNeely, Brian Harmon. And I have nothing against Brian Harmon. He's just a terrible course fit for Bethpage. Andrew Novak, JJ Spawn, Pat Cantlay, Harris English, Tom Hoagie. Daniel Berger in 14th. Look for him. Lucas Glover, Billy Horschel, Wyndham Clark, Tony Finau, Michael Kim, Akshay, Ben Griffin. Like, that's a little bit of a weird stretch there. I mean, you got guys like Max Homa who've been struggling. Jordan Spieth in 32nd. Like, where are your dudes? I mean, Cam Young, he was supposed to be somebody. Looks a little weird. The Hoygaards, second, they got close. Got to within one. A 68. They shot 59 on the opening day. One of these teams shot a 58, yeah. Isaiah Salinda and Kevin Velo shot a 58 on day one in the better ball portion. I believe that was 10 under 26 on the front nine. Let me go back to that real quick. Yes, it was. They went birdie, 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 eagle, birdie, 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 birdie to start the day. Holy mama. 12 under through 11 holes. They had 2 more birdies coming in. I mean, just wild. I mean, just real ham and egg on the front nine, too, because Velo birdied 1, Salinda 2, Velo 3, Salinda 4, 5, 6, and then Eagle 7. Velo did birdie 7, too, but then Velo goes 3-2 to close it out. Then Salinda comes back and birdies 10 and 11. So just perfect ham and egg, just the whole way through. But what a performance. 58, 26 on the front nine. 26. I'm just looking down this leaderboard. I didn't watch much of any of the golf, so we can head on a little bit. Rory McIlroy, Shane Lowry, 72 on Sunday. Really got themselves involved with the 61 on Saturday, but they finished 6 shots back. Looks like they were really never in contention on Sunday. Let me pull up. And they got it to a couple under, and then bogeyed 3 times in the last 6 holes. Did toss a birdie on 18, but that was irrelevant at that point. Yeah, just not quite the field. This is like the real, back in the day, Harbortown used to kind of be the Masters hangover, but since they made that a signature event, like this has become the real post-Masters hangover. So we got the CJ Cup at the Byron Nelson here this week. I'm guessing that's probably not the best field. Just a guess. And then we got the Truist Championship that used to be Wells Fargo, I believe. They're playing that at the Philly Cricket Club, so I'm very interested to see that. That's on May 8th. So we'll get that. And then the PGA Championship back-to-back for some pretty good golf viewing. And then they go Charles Schwab. Then it's Memorial, Canadian Open, U.S. Open, Travelers. That's a fun stretch of the schedule. Then it gets a little weird. We go Rocket, John Deere, Scottish. And then the Open is there somewhere, the British. So could be another weird week of golf next week, but the following we should have some good stuff. So I'm just going to keep my eye on the NBA and NHL playoffs here. I had a little bit of an NBA game on yesterday. It was Lakers T-Wolves game 4. The T-Wolves were able to pull out a victory. They lead the Lakers 3-1. Game 6. No, that'd be game 5. I'm in ding dong. Will be 4:30. So that's Wednesday. It would really be something if old Bron orchestrated this trade for Luka and then gets bounced in the first round. I think they got bounced in the first round last year. Not the best look. Not the best look for Bronny. Granted, he's old. Like, it happens. You get old and you don't have what you once had, but they keep telling us he's as good as he ever was. Yeah, they lost to the Nuggets in the first round 4-1. Granted, the Nuggets were pretty darn good. So that's what happens. But Thunder already moved on. Nuggets Clippers is the only series that's tied at the moment. A lot of 3-1s and 3-0s. Rockets, Warriors, Golden State coming in as the 7th seed. Steph Curry looking to maybe keep that rolling and keep that pushed up. Now, when you go over to the NHL playoffs, a lot of tied series here. So I might start checking out some of these games. Winnipeg and St. Louis tied 2-2. Everybody out west. Winnipeg, St. Louis, Dallas, and Colorado. The Vegas Golden Knights and Minnesota Wild, the Kings, and the Oilers all tied 2-2 out west. The East Coast is all 3-1 and then 1-2-1 with the Florida matchup of Tampa Bay and Florida and the Florida Panthers. So just keeping my eyes on it. Just keeping my eyes. I got no real insight. Just want to keep my eyes on it. Let you know I'm interested just to see what happens. Check out some games. I feel like round 2 is usually where I start like following it a little bit more. So we'll see what my interest level, if it peaks. It peaks a little bit more in round 2. It usually does. That's all I got for that. So let's keep rolling. Time for some passing thoughts. Let's start with some wrestling. The Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania lived up to the hype. Orton Pierce from under the ring hits John Cena with a RKO out of nowhere. Fun start to the show. Just keeping going through there. Becky Lynch turns heel. They won the tag titles the night before. Lost them. Becky Lynch turned heel. We got a return. The old Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania return. Rusev. They gave him new theme music, though. That's the only thing that ticks me off. But he is looking fit. Fit, just jacked up, fit and trim. Just a Greek god-like looking bod. Rusev comes out and, stomps on someone's back and hits him in the old, I think they call it the Acolyte. Is that his name of his thing? Ah! Good return. Gunther had a problem with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. Went after Cole first. McAfee stood up for him. McAfee gets choked out. All his boys, Ty Schmidt, Darius Butler, are all trying to run in. And, security's holding them back. So fun little thing for those of us who are wrestling fans who also watch McAfee. That was a fun little thing. Like, it's Ty Schmidt trying to go attack Gunther. And then, to end the show, you get Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman out there. They're dealing with CM Punk and Roman Reigns, and here comes Braun Breaker added to the group. So we got Rollins, Heyman, Breaker. Could be something good there. I think they're talking about that more tonight. I'll have to check in on that tonight, see what else there is there. Some other things in the what have you been watching? Don't really have a TV show right now. I've been catching up on some movies I haven't seen in a while or not seen at all. So I don't know, a week or so ago I watched Days of Thunder. I haven't seen that movie start to finish in I don't know how many years. It could be 10, 15. I've seen, it's been on. I've seen parts of it here and there. I have not sat down and watched that movie from the start to the end. I think I actually watched it on a flight a couple weeks back. I might have even talked about this already. But whatever. It'd been a long time since I've seen that movie start to finish. That's a good movie. Young TC out there getting it. Watched Midway as well. A movie about the Battle of Midway in World War II. Quite the cast of characters in that movie. Dennis Quaid, one of the Jonas brothers is in it. Let me just pull up the whole cast here. Here we go. Aaron Eckhart, Nick Jonas, Darren Criss is a guy you definitely would have seen in something, I think. Is that the guy I'm clicking on? That might be a different guy. Woody Harrelson, Brandon Skellner is actually in that of Yellowstone 1923 fame. Wade Evans is a guy. What is Luke Evans? Sorry, he plays Wade McCluskey. What is Wade Evans in? He's in Wonder Woman. Sure, that's not what I'm thinking of. Robin Hood, no. Three Musketeers, no. Fast and Furious 6 as Owen Shaw, nope. He's also in Fast and Furious 7, The Fate of the Furious. What else is he in that I would know him from? Murder Mystery? Maybe I recognize him from Murder Mystery. Is he in a TV show? I thought I recognized him from something else. Maybe I just recognize him from all the Fast and the Furious movies. Perhaps. Either way, Midway. Decent movie. And then watched Argo as well the other night. Roommate was away. So flipped on a movie. I never sleep well when I'm in a hotel or the roommate's away. I don't know what it is. Probably because she's not yelling at me to go to sleep, so I just keep the TV on and keep watching stuff. So watched Argo. Hadn't seen that movie in 5-6 years. What a good movie. Affleck really good in that. Tate Donovan. I always think of Tate Donovan on Friends. Yeah, that was a fun one too. Also dealing with some home repair we got to deal with now. I think I mentioned, if I didn't, there was a big hailstorm here the other day. Siding on a couple sides of my house is just destroyed. Gutters are wrecked. I'm sure the roof's going to need it. Finally got an adjuster coming here in the next couple days. Going to be a whole mess to get that all put back together. Not really excited about it. We also got there's chances of super severe thunderstorms here in just a little bit tonight, as I record on a Monday. So hopefully by the time this thing is airing on Tuesday, I'm not dealing with another storm issue and having to rebuild more of my house. The siding and the roof will be plenty. I don't need it to take out a portion of it with a big thunderstorm or a tornado. So hoping that stays away. I've also been out on the golf course, gotten out a couple times, 2-3 times now this year. Weather's starting to turn. Got my first 18-hole round in this weekend. It was cold as a motherfucker. The wind started blowing. It was like 38 degrees when I teed off. I just had the itch so bad. Usually I'm like, I'd like it to be about 50 when I play. It can be about 45 if there's no wind, just normally. But here I am out there, 38 in wind. I've got layers on. I've got the hot hands, hot pockets in my pockets, and I'm just out there trying to brave it. Tell you what, I stink. I never know at the start of the year. It's like, do you just stink because you haven't played yet? Or am I just getting worse? And every year I think I'm getting worse. But at some point throughout the year, you kind of play better. I didn't play very good last year, though. So it's like, maybe I just stink now. And then I look at my handicap and they're like, you're a 4.1 or whatever my handicap says I am. It's like, I'm the worst kind of handicap ever. I'm a 3.9. God. That's the worst kind of handicap. And I'll explain to you why. Because I'm not that good. I'm not a 3.9. I'm probably more like a legit 8. But I have these moments, a couple of times a year where I drive the ball kind of well. I hit a couple good iron shots and I make a bunch of putts. And I shoot something around par or maybe sneak it under 2 to 3 times a year. And it just craters my handicap. It's if I could just throw it, I should be able to throw out my low 2. If you play under a certain amount of times, you should be able to throw out your low 2 rounds. It's hey, these don't, I don't get enough of these throughout the year. The percentage, let's just get more to the middle. We're throwing out the high ones. Can we throw out the low ones? Feel like it's necessary. My game, I'm in the worst spot because I'm not good enough to win scratch stuff, but I'm also, my handicap's way too low for me to win handicap stuff. So it's a weird spot, but hey, I'm happy. Golf course is open. My golf course got pelted with hail too. They brought the greens back in under a week, and they're pretty darn good already. So props to the dudes working on my golf course. Those guys worked a minor miracle in getting those greens playable, let alone good, in as short a time frame as they did. So that's sweet. And here's to warmer weather. No more 38 and windy for 6:30 tee times, because I'm you know me, I like a good early tee time. Get out there, race the sun, get out in front of everybody. Don't need to be out there for 5-6 hours. You can play golf in 3.5. I think we played in just over 3 hours as a threesome. Just over 3:05. It's possible. My usual Saturday morning group is 3.5 as a foursome. You don't need to be out there for forever, people. Play faster. If you're bad, play faster than the people who are good. But yeah, I think that's it. So let's go wrap this thing up. Closing time, everybody. As always, thank you so much for the watches, the listens, and all the support. Thank you again to everybody who came on Thursday on the live show. Huge shout out once again to MJ. He really put on a virtuoso performance Thursday. Really kept that thing on the road. I was just there to guide it. He was giving all the main contributions. I was just throwing up alley-oop, and he was sending it in, Jerome. But we'll be back next week. More golf, more baseball, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, whatever else happens in my life that I get into. A lot of fun stuff coming up. Go check out the Full Range Podcast on Spotify or on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel. Till next time, peace!